Japan is in a weird place, and it's been in a weird place for the last couple of years now. Ever since coronavirus came here, the country's been in a state of lockdown, but not really lockdown, on and off, and it's getting really confusing. What I mean by that is that Japan's government has made some very strong suggestions to business owners and the everyday person of Japan on what they can and can't do during this time. These recommendations go from not selling alcohol, closing before 8 p.m, and so on. The problem being, though, is that Japan cannot actually enforce these regulations. And the reason they can't enforce these regulations is because of their constitution. And their constitution says that they cannot impede on people's freedoms. This is the post-war constitution installed by America after 1948, I believe. And it has had a large influence on the way Japan operates for the last 60-70 years. Now it's been pulled much more into question, but maybe this is a topic for another video. So although the government has very little power to enforce these actual lockdown measurements and recommendations that they've told many businesses over here to follow under, people largely listen to them before New Year. However, that did change a lot after New Year. And who can really blame the people who decided not to listen to them? People need to make money, people need to feed their families, and if the government's not going to enforce those rules, and because they can't, then people would rather suffer the social stigma than potentially go under. The intro of this video shows what Japan is like right now. Like literally, I took that footage over the last couple of days, and as you can see, there's a lot of people out. Fortunately though, everyone does wear masks, and it's very much built into the culture here. So I believe that is something that has helped keep cases down. Now, I wouldn't be talking about this if there wasn't such a worry, and there's two big worries currently in Japan right now. And number one is, of course, the already postponed Olympics is right around the corner. And number two, the vaccine rollout here is incredibly slow. So at the time of this recording, Japan has vaccinated 3% of its population, at least with the first jab, which is, very, very low, as I previously said. If you look at the rest of the world, globally, I think it's 20.9% of the population globally has received the vaccine. The UK, where I'm from, has vaccinated 45% of its population. The States, 44% of its population. So that raises the question, why is Japan so behind? Well, the government has come out and said it's because they don't have enough trained staff to administer the vaccine. And in addition, Japan's healthcare system is already under a lot of strain, and having all these extra people go in may be the tipping point for the nation's healthcare system. Japan also took a number of extra months for additional testing of the vaccine, and they also asked for additional data as well to ensure that they could be as prepared as possible, so they say. But historically, despite that, Japan has often been skeptical of foreign drugs, and especially foreign vaccines. Recent surveys have showed that only 30% of the population are comfortable and feel like the vaccine will have great benefits to them, compared to America, which has recently seen an uptake in vaccine skepticism, which is currently at 50%, saying that they would happily take the vaccine and feel that it will provide benefit to them. The reason for this is because, well, side effects are often played up from third parties, and in addition, recently the government has gone under a number of lawsuits due to side effects of drugs. But as such a homogenous nation, this distrust of the outside world is nothing really new. At the beginning of COVID, there were a number of bizarre tweets and messaging from government bodies, and as well as a number of strange pieces of signage about distrusting foreign-made things or foreigners in general. Let's take a little bit of a break under this cherry tree because it is starting to pick up with the rain outside, I'm afraid. But saying what I just said, Unfortunately, a lot of that signage and a lot of that media has faced some strong pushback from the Japanese people. Generally speaking, most people don't feel like that. They're very friendly, very kind, and very hospitable as well. It seems like more and more people here are just getting really fed up, and they want to see the government help them return back to some sense of normality. And that's, to be honest, perfectly understandable. I think every country in the world wants to see that. It's been really confusing for a lot of people, but fortunately there is hope. It seems like the voices of the Japanese people have been heard, and recently, over the last couple of days, city by city, people have been receiving messages in the mail telling them to go and book their vaccinations. The thing is though, it is rather late considering the Olympics is only a month around the corner. So is there hope for that? Well, will we be vaccinated by 2022? No one really knows, but I guess we'll have to cross our fingers and wait and see.